It's the opening night of the National Jazz Museum at its new home on 129th Street in Harlem. Its mission to preserve the rich culture of jazz that some believe is being lost.
Up until a generation or two ago, people were growing up with jazz in their household. Harlem was the center of jazz activity in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And yes, we've lost a lot of great clubs, and that's really unfortunate.
One of those lost venues was the Renaissance Ballroom, demolished in 2014 and now being replaced by luxury apartments. Just blocks away, the once legendary Lenox Lounge, a victim of rising rent, is still abandoned.
I remember when I first came to the Lenox Lounge, that was probably back in 1989. When they said, oh, the Lenox Lounge was closing, I just thought, wow, what a tragic shame. Not the Lenox Lounge, you know, that's a Harlem staple.
There's also an influx of new businesses in Harlem, like the Gin Fizz Live Jazz Bar, which opened just 2 years ago.
Look into it, keyedup.org, check it out. And that's what's helping to make sure we get some good, high-quality music everywhere it needs to be. Because this is American music. This is jazz music.
Gin Fizz works with the nonprofit Keyed Up to bring live jazz back to Harlem.
We had this idea to create more performance opportunities. We create relationships with venues and we say, what would you pay for jazz? And they might say, we want to have jazz once a week and we only have $200 to give. We'd say, well, how would you like to have $400? And we'll raise the caliber of your musicians. Your audiences will be very pleased and you'll start to see more revenues, essentially.
If they succeed, artists will have more opportunities to perform, and restaurants and bars can attract more and different customers.
A case can be made that with the influx of some people that have a little bit more money, that the jazz scene is going to thrive even more. I think that everyone's great hope is that it's not going to result in displacement of people who live here and call Harlem their home. But Harlem is a dynamic community. It's always changed in certain ways.
There is a ton of money going into Harlem right now. You can't have a club in Harlem without live music. It goes hand in hand. Jazz is not the most popular art form in America now. But once people do hear jazz live, they love it. They love it.
From Manhattan, I'm Jeong for Reboot New York.